Hey everybody. So listen, have you been trying to start a business, or maybe you want to write a book, or you want to do something but you already have a full-time job and you're like, "Oh my gosh, how do I make all of this happen?" If that's you, my name is Tammy Washington and I want you to keep watching because I want to tell you very quickly some key steps that you can take to help you accelerate your success. And that key is to learn how to effectively manage your time when you're still working a 9 to 5. The first key to time management is actually a very simple one, but most people overlook it. And that is that you have to make a commitment. That's the first step in the process. Because if you don't commit, nothing else that you do matters. Because when you live in a space where you haven't actually committed to your dreams, you live in a space of hoping and wishing. I hope this works out. I wish I could have a different life. But when you commit that I am going to start this business on this specific date, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to take time every single day and devote it to my craft. If you make the commitment that I will do this and this result is going to happen no matter what, all other options are off the table. That's the first step in getting to where you want to be. The second thing you want to remember is that you've got to set powerful deadlines. And let me tell you what the importance of powerful deadlines. Number one, powerful deadlines will put you into action. So when you create your deadline, you put it on your calendar and you make that deadline a no matter what deadline. The problem is, most of the time we set deadlines, we say we're going to do things, and then we never do it. And every time you don't do something that you say you're going to do, your confidence lowers just a little bit because you stop trusting yourself. So when you give yourself a deadline, you have to make it that that thing is going to happen. It's going to happen. You commit to the deadline. The second thing when it comes to the deadline, you don't want to set deadlines that are so far off that it doesn't put you into action. People say, "Oh, I'm going to take 3 years to write a book." Why? You don't need 3 years. "Oh, I'm going to take 4 years to start this business." Why? You don't need 4 years. You need a good mentor. You need time management. You need to learn how to start what it is that you want to start, and you commit to that. So you want to set a powerful deadline that will put you into action. For example, when I was writing my book, I said I wanted to write it in 4 weeks. I said I wanted to write this book in a month because I'd heard somebody else had done that. Well, guess what? It didn't take a month. It actually took longer. It took 6 weeks. And you know what? I was okay with that though, because it was still faster than most people in the world. There are people who still are writing books who started back when I was doing it. So, and that was 3 years ago. So you have to set powerful deadlines. And I want you to remember Parkinson's law, which basically states that the importance of a task will swell or dwindle based on the allotted amount of time that you give it. So what that basically means is if you say it's going to take you a week to do something, it's going to take you a week to do it. If you say you give yourself a day to do it, you will figure out a way to get it done in a day, because if you put a closer time frame, it gets more important in your mind. And when it gets more important in your mind, then you go into action. Now procrastination starts going out the window because you got to get it done. So set extremely powerful deadlines. So what's the deadline you're going to set for your next project? Number 3, you've got to change how you look at your 9 to 5. So when I was going through the process of wanting to start my business, but I was still working full time, and a lot of times working more than 8 hours a day, I was able to do it quickly because I changed my 9 to 5 into a 5 to 9. So what does that mean? What I realized as I was starting to write my book, when I first started, I would work all day and then I would come home and I would try to work on my book. And I realized that all of my creativity, all of my great energy had gone throughout the day to making somebody else's dream come true. And so I decided my dream was the most important thing in my life. And so I decided that I've got to do this first. I've got to take all of my creative energy and I got to put it into my work first. So instead of getting up at 7 or 7:30 or 8 to get to work by 9, I started getting up at 5 a.m. and I would take the first few hours of my day to work on my book. And then I dedicated my lunch breaks to working on my book. And then when I came home from work, I would eat a nice dinner, and 7 to 9, again, that time was dedicated to my dreams, to my speaking career, to working on my book. And so I want you to think about that in your life. How can you change your 9 to 5 to a 5 to 9? The problem is most of you feel like that is too much time to be working throughout the day. But what if a little bit of sacrifice right now could help you attain everything you've always wanted to have in the future? Would it be worth it then? Change your 9 to 5 mindset to a 5 to 9 mindset and watch magic happen. And finally, focus on being effective over being efficient. See, in corporate America, we're taught to be efficient. We're taught to fill up every hour of the day doing something. So we actually get used to doing busy work. We're doing things that we don't necessarily need to be doing on a daily basis. So I want you to think about in your life, what can you delegate out to somebody else? There's a lot of things that you can delegate out to other people, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier. Think about what else can you cut out as far as distractions go. So how much time do you spend on social media every day? So let's say if you have a goal to get your business off the ground in 30 days, or to write your book or do your program in 30 days, for those 30 days, force yourself to give up social media. Give up television watching. Give up anything. Maybe it's you don't go out with your friends every single night. Maybe it's that you dedicate specific amounts of time that's to your business on the weekend when you're normally out socializing. Your dreams are worth it. So you got to focus on how can I be effective over trying to be efficient and trying to pile a million things into my life. Focus on what is important. Set that timeline. And be committed and know that your dreams can come true if you are willing to do the work. Make the sacrifice now so that you can have your dreams later. I'm Tammy Washington. Thanks for watching, guys.